The 2015 Tour de France will begin in Utrecht, Netherlands on the 4th of July and finish at the Champs-Élysées in Paris on the 26th of July, with Vincenzo Nibali defending the yellow jersey. Joining us now to take a look at the Tour de France contenders is Ian O'Sullivan, owner and author of cyclingbetting.co.uk. Now, this is a tough year, so we have 4 people who could win the Tour. Would you say it's between these, or is there an outsider to consider?
Well, Natalie, it's an unbelievable tour this year. In all the years I've been betting on the Tour de France, I've never seen such an open competition. Many commentators are saying it's the Fab Four, it's between the top 4 riders. But there are plenty of guys just behind these who are waiting in the wings, waiting for an opportunity like last year when, 200 to 1 shot Thibaut Pinot finished 3rd on the podium, and 150 to 1 shot Jean-Christophe Perrault finished 2nd. Anything can happen in a Tour de France, and all it takes is a crash, an incident, an accident, and one of the top favourites or 2 or 3 could be out. So it's by no means just a top 4.
Okay, and yeah, last year obviously we saw some crashes come out, but is there any outsiders that's standing out to you right now?
Well, there's a couple. There's first of all, we've got TJ Van Garderen, American rider riding for the BMC team. He's trading around the 33 to 1, 40 to 1 sort of level. He's had a good season this year. He almost won the Criterium de Dauphiné just a couple of weeks back. Led it right up until the final day ahead of Froome, and just was left behind by Froome in the very last stage and lost it on the last stage. But he's coming right at the right time. He's finished 5th the last 2 years running in the Tour de France. Has won races like the USA Pro Challenge and the Tour of California in the past. And he's got the right profile to possibly stick in there day in day out and move himself up the podium. He was more than a match for Chris Froome on many of the stages this year in the Dauphiné, which is a good sign. And he's got a chance, an outside chance, but he's got a good chance. The second possibility is the Frenchman Thibaut Pinot, the great French hope. Came into his own last year with a fantastic ride to take 3rd on the podium. As I say, he was a 200 to 1 shot, and okay. If Froome was still in the race, if Contenders hadn't crashed out, would he have been 3rd? Probably not. But, as the saying goes, you can only beat what's in front of you. And he was good enough to step up at a young age. I think he's 25, 26, that sort of way. He stepped up last year and he finished 3rd. He's had a good year this year. He won a very tough stage in the Tour de Suisse just recently on a mountain I wouldn't even begin to try and pronounce, a Swiss mountain. And that was a good sign for him for the Tour. He's a good climber. His problem, though, is the team that he's with, Francis Desjeux, or FDJ, just aren't very good at team time trials. And on stage 10, there's an important team time trial, and he could lose some time there. But he's an outsider, but he's something like 33 to 1, 28 to 1. He's got a chance as well. But again, it's probably going to take a slip up by 1 or 2 of the guys above him for him to move into the places. Right.
Well, this race is notoriously difficult. Is it tougher to predict a winner on this course?
It's very, very hard this year. Some years it's not hard at all. Like in previous years when, say, Bradley Wiggins was head and shoulders above everybody else, he was odds on. When Lance Armstrong was doing it, he was odds on for most years. But now, we know he was unbeatable for various reasons. And Chris Froome last year I think was bordering on odds on as well. He was around the even money mark. There's generally 1 or 2 guys are normally head and shoulders above everybody else, and depending on the course as well, the course can suit different types of riders. Last year there was a lot of time trialing, and that suited Froome, and that's why he was such a hot favourite. This year, it's a very, very open course. There's not very much time trialing. There's lots of climbing, and you've got 4 guys who are very evenly matched, who can, on any given day, can beat each other. And it could come down to the very last stage. It could come down to the last 2 or 3 stages. There's a fantastic climax to the race with 4 days in a row heading into the Alps, with the penultimate stage finishing on the famous Alpe d'Huez. And it's very hard to split them. You look across on the betting and there's not much in it at all. And you look at different commentators from one website to another, and some are saying Froome, some are saying Nibali, some are saying Contador, some are saying Quintana. There is no real clear strong favourite.
Yeah, well, the Fab Four in order. Chris Froome is the favourite there. If you're looking at the odds, the shortest odds 3.1 Bet Victor, Nairo Quintana 3.5 Coral, Alberto Contador 5.5 Paddy Power, followed there by Vincenzo Nibali 6 at Unibet. So go on, do you have a favourite? Who are you backing here to win?
I'm leaning towards Nairo Quintana. I'm going against the favourite Chris Froome. A lot of people are backing Chris Froome. A lot of people are saying that he's going to be unbeatable, but I don't think so. I think Nairo Quintana is going to have an incredible tour this year. I think this guy is going to be an absolute superstar. He already is a superstar. He's won the Giro. He finished second in his first Tour de France 2 years ago. He didn't ride the Tour de France last year because he rode the Giro instead and skipped the Tour de France. But he's back this year. He's a fantastic climber. He's something like 60 kilos. He just darts away in the climbs effortlessly. And he's got an incredibly strong team with him, Movistar. And, his program this year is a traditional sort of program for him. He did some of the early season races and then disappeared back to Colombia and did some altitude training. I think his hometown is at something like 9,000 feet up in the mountains, training on his own for 6 weeks, and has come back and rode the Tour de Suisse last week. He was beaten just in the very final stage by one of his arch rivals here, Alberto Contador, on the final stage. But I was really impressed with his climbing that day. I thought he looked far more comfortable than Contador. He rode very, very well, very, very, very smooth, and he just looked very strong. The reason he was beaten, because Contador descended like a madman from the climb. He got a little gap because he took more risks than Quintana. Quintana admitted afterwards that he just didn't want to take the risks ahead of the Tour de France. Contador got a little gap and he held it to the line, and that's the only reason he won. If it had finished on an uphill finish, I think Quintana would have won. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Nairo Quintana can do in this Tour de France.
Okay, fantastic. That was Ian O'Sullivan there from cyclingbetting.co.uk. The link is in the description right below this video. Do check it out. Ian, thank you for joining us today.